patients. We are now going to pull up Connie, and we're also going to pull up Michael Schorr. So, oops. Perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed that little break. So Mike, you could now share your screen, and you can also turn on your camera.
Is it working?
He is pulling it
Camera
up.
should be coming on. Okay, so the camera should be on now, and you should be able to see my screen, I hope, correct?
Yeah, so you can get started. Yeah, perfect.
All right, well, thank God for different forms of technology, and calling in on a phone with different headphones and working on a computer, and now you all just had a nice 5-minute break, so I hope you're refreshed and ready to go. We'll kick right into it. Again, just a huge thank you for everyone who's joining, been part of this adventure in the marathon, and a huge thank you to Rapid, Link 3D, of course, and the rest of the folks who helped make this possible. So today we're going to talk about a few things on the introduction. We're going to go through just a quick background of the company, who we are, what we actually do, and what we strive to achieve. We're going to run through a whole bunch of different color options that are available in the market, and then really in depth onto the different use case scenarios to folks who are actually doing this at scale and using our color systems in large volumes. We're actually going to bring in Connie, our color expert, to talk and answer some of these more in-depth questions around color matching and what the reason is behind it. And we're actually going to go from there into something totally brand new and really exciting. It's going to be a launch of our colors around the gray MJF parts. And then to finish up, we're going to bring Connie back to join me and answer a bunch of your questions. So a quick background about ourselves. I'll start here. So my name is Mike Schorr. I'm technically challenged apparently, but I have 7 years of experience in additive manufacturing. Started off with FDM and then branching into the rest of the different platforms that exist on the market, focusing really deep into material compositions and end-use products. So I spent most of my career working towards that end goal, what these products might be, whether it's in automotive, consumer goods, or even in aerospace and defense. And now I'll pass it off to Connie to introduce herself.
So, hi guys, I'm Connie, and greetings from a deserted lab here in Dyemansion. Some of us are trying to keep the essential work going on during this hard period, and I'm part of our R&D team at Dyemansion, and as an R&D engineer, my main work here is to deal with all the color-related topics such as color matching.
Excellent. Thank you, Connie, for that intro. And now you've met the two of us, so might as well introduce you to everyone else on the team. As you can see here, it's just a quick snapshot of some of our team. We are over 60 people, approaching 70 already, actually. We have our headquarters is just outside of Munich, Germany, and a facility in Austin, Texas that we're finalizing right now. We were founded in 2015 around color to begin with. We actually branched from there to the rest of our products. And everything we do is all about turning printed parts into high-value products. So to give you a snapshot of some of the technology we offer, as we mentioned just a second ago, we started in 2015 based around color. Color is actually all the way on the right hand of your screen right now. We actually launched color first before anything else. And we realized after a couple of years in the market with color that it was hard to create a reproducible and reliable part. Just because we couldn't guarantee what happened to the part from when it came out of the printer and then before it went into our coloring system. So we decided to take control of that, and we went all the way back to the basics of depowdering. So if you go back to the left-hand side of the screen, now you can see step 1 is cleaning. We launched the PowerShot C, which is an automatic depowdering system that cleans parts. Roughly an entire build of most of the printers that are on the market in about 10 minutes flat. And then from there, we looked at haptics and homogeneous surfaces. So we actually went down to the surfacing options of mechanical surfacing, and then a couple of years later, we went down to vapor fuse surfacing. The mechanical surfacing offers a really fast approach, currently the fastest and most productive in the market. And then the vapor smooth system is entirely innovative, offering entirely new applications industry-wide, and both of which go to a final step of color afterwards to really tie everything all together. With those couple of systems that are out there in the market, we are fully installed, well over 300 systems globally, and serving more than double that in just the customers alone that are using them. These are just a couple of the verticals that we really target into. Starting on the left-hand side, you can see a couple of brand names there, of course, with Under Armour and Fitch Frames. These are the consumer goods section where quality is really important, and understanding color that's required by the manufacturers is even more important. And then we look into areas like industrial and automotive, where there's usually very specific requirements and certifications that are wrapped around those two. And then, of course, the medical industry. The medical industry is extremely specific because, of course, we're dealing with parts that are usually touching human skin or implants or anything of the above. And when you talk in medical application with a 3D printed part, there's a lot of very special requirements that come into play there. We're excited to be part of that industry as well. And then all the way on the right-hand side is probably the biggest market, of course, is contract manufacturers. These are the guys who really put the volume into the market and help bring the name to the table. Okay, so we talked a little bit about our background. Now we can kind of branch into the fun stuff here. So we're going to talk about different color options and use cases around them. So starting on the left-hand side of your screen, these are the initial core colors that we developed, both off of the raw SLS materials, and now we're going to introduce later today. We're having another set of core colors that are going to be wrapped specifically for the gray NGS part. It's really exciting there. But these colors are really for those folks that just want a basic color, your reds, your blues, your greens, and not have to think about a specific color code associated with them. They can just go right after it, say exactly what they want. Moving towards the right-hand side here, the color systems. So those are your RAL and Pantone color systems. It's very associated to them. So a little bit more specific, and it's more geared to those who understand exactly what they're looking for. And we have those available, well over 170 actually, already available to customers. If we can't find what you're looking for there, or say if you're a special customer like one of the consumer sectors that has seasonal palettes or things like that, we do offer the opportunity of color matching, which we're actually going to talk about a little bit coming up here with Connie, and we'll dive into that one. On the right-hand side, this is for those special industries. So the automotive sector, we actually launched the Automotive X line of colors. We have these for both your SLS, your basic powder parts, and then of course your NGS as well. This enables an entirely new opportunity for printed parts to then be inside of interiors of the vehicle, meeting crazy requirements that normally paint and other applications couldn't handle. And then of course the neon colors really breaks into excitement in the consumer section, and we'll talk about in a second with a use case scenario of used medical applications. So this is one of the first ones we can talk about. This is an industrial application. This company is called ProGlow. What they wanted to do is they wanted to eliminate warehouse workers from having to have a handheld scanner. They noticed that over a period of time, whether it was 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, whatever it might be, that users were experiencing arthritis early in their hands and just extra weight, let alone the fact that we're always working with just one hand. One hand is always holding something. So they designed this apparatus, which actually goes on the outside of your hand, that can still scan in and act as a normal scanner would be. So now you have 2 free hands and no extra weight added. So because this is an industrial setup, they wanted to just apply some scratchers and some color to it to help it feel like it's still in that environment. And they just wanted some basic stuff. So they went right towards the core colors. Have a basic DM Orange 12, which is just a standard orange on the market. And then they also went to the gray 02. So again, this is just, they didn't have many specifics on exactly what they wanted. They just wanted to have a color that represented safety and industrial. And that's exactly where they went to. So this one's a little bit exciting here. So this is actually an Austrian company called Bolton Stern. And we'll explain a little bit more about them in our one-on-one with Connie. But this is
I accidentally lost him there. Give me a second. Connie, you want to describe what that's about in the meantime?
I'm sorry, I can't see the slide.
It's about the limitless color choices of the
Hey,
earrings.
do you think you dropped the call?
Yeah, sorry about that. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Sorry about that, folks. Again, technology is tough right now. So if you weren't hearing me, this is actually an Austrian company, high-end fashion jewelry. So this is a really cool application where they wanted that specific brow and Pantone color matching. So you can see some of the specific numbers on the side. You may not know exactly what those are, but the earring that you see on the right-hand side of the picture is actually RAL 4006. So it's a really beautiful violet color. So this is a really cool opportunity for this specific color. Moving into another one here. So this is actually the automotive area that we were talking about. So these requirements are very strict. To meet that ISO certification, these parts are actually put to a test of 135 hours at heat and UV weathering conditions. So if you look at a standard dashboard, for instance, in an automotive car, they're exposed to light and sun sitting in the parking lot. Over time, that paint and plastic is going to chip and peel. So it's very strict requirements, and thankfully this enabled printed parts can then be applied into the interior of the vehicle. This here is a really cool example of a used orthopedic. This is by Goettinger. So again, when you think of orthopedics, especially in youth, wanted to make it a little bit more fun and exciting. So this company went to our neon color line to really add some pop and excitement for the young folks who are unfortunately have to use some of these apparatuses. So this is where the neon colors were exciting to be launched into a market, but more importantly, because they're medical application, the specificity results in skin irritation, all past results. So their stakes go right onto the skin. And into some of those special colors. I'm not going to go too far into this. This is what we're going to bring Connie into, but this is just an example of some of these specialized colors. So you can see we have diamond bust in there. We have another medical application, which is skin tone matching. Consumer good areas where it's very specific and we might need and require. And again, we're going to actually bring in Connie in just a second here to talk a little bit more about this. So Connie, if you can join me, we're going to explain color matching and what the reason is behind it.
Hi. Yeah, well, our
So if you're watching,
sorry. Mike?
Yeah, so if you could just tell me a little bit about why there's a need for color matching. If there's already so many colors available in the market, especially through our systems, a couple hundred colors, what's the reason for color matching?
Our customers want to be flexible with their color choices to react to market requirements such as seasonal palettes and trends, as well as, for example, corporate colors in the automotive industry. And also a big example is the fashion industry. All of us know that in the fashion industry, uniqueness is a must. And that's why many of our customers in that area try to extend their color portfolio with our color matching expertise. And one of the latest examples is Wolkenstern, the one company you talked about. Earlier this year, they launched a new color line, a 3D printed jewelry line with the Pantone color of the year, Pantone Classic Blue. And we helped them achieve this goal with our color matching.
All right, very cool. So as you can see, it's really important, especially for reacting to trends in the industry. It's really speed to market, and that's another huge advantage of color matching. So that's really good. But Connie, can you talk to me a little bit about how does this process actually work?
Yeah, of course. So for the development of a customized color, in this case, it was Pantone Classic Blue. We use a physical sample, like a fan, like this. And we measure it or we scan it with our spectrophotometer, a device similar to this one. And with the values we get from this device, we create a tailor-made recipe and then test this color in a small scale in our lab. Sometimes it takes several iterations until you reach the desired color. And after that, the desired color or the recipe, the final recipe, is stored in our in our database and put to the test in our in-house DM60 using one of our cartridges, like this one. And for Boltenstern, we dyed, I can't find my stuff here, sorry. We dyed those earrings here, but in classic blue. So this is the earring. It looks like that. In classic blue for our internal and external approval. So we compared the part itself to the color fan and also measure it with our spectrophotometer to obtain the LAB values as well as the delta E values. And these measurements help us to see if, for example, there are some deviations in the future with the formula and to adapt the formula.
Very cool. So as you can see, it's a lot more involved and a lot more scientific than just mixing red and blue and hopefully you make purple. So Connie, thank you for that in-depth explanation. So if we're sitting here as a customer, for instance, and we understand what the value might be, what the value added is, and the process, what do you need from me and how do I get started?
So for that, you should know that color is perceived differently depending on surface, material, as well as light conditions. So for a successful color matching process, we need to work very closely with our customer, and they need to tell us all about the end product. So we need to have all the information about the end product to do a proper color matching, and in particular about the exact material, the surface finishing like vapor fuse or polyshot surfacing, also tumbling, as well as the printing technology that is used, and of course about the color. And therefore they can provide us with a physical sample, like for example something like this is a piece of fabric or a piece of plastic that we can measure, or alternatively they can give us a color code such as RAL or Pantone. There are a lot of different color systems. And last but not least, we recommend to send us developing parts that are produced and finished in the exact same way as the end product to minimize any variations later on.
Excellent. So there you go. There's a lot involved to it for sure, but it's a really incredible opportunity to enable color matching for speed to market, color palettes, seasonal things. It's really a great opportunity for customers. So Connie, thank you for joining me, and I'll actually bring you back in just a little bit to help answer some questions.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get into some really exciting stuff. Even if you weren't impressed before, we're going to launch something brand new now. This is going to be the full color line.
Michael, sorry for interrupt, Connie and Michael. I have questions for you. So I think, well, since we have less time, the idea, of course, is here to answer some questions. Also, well, you're the company that's hosting our drinks and session. I'm sure we will be able to meet you also there. So first, for the first question, is what is the, well, in your opinion, what is the future for colored 3D printed products, and can they become a big part of our everyday life?
Mike, are you there?
So, heard the question in and out. Was it along the lines of how we can use this color in everyday printed life, or add color to everyday printed parts that are in your normal life? So what you can see in some of those consumer applications, in footwear, for example, it's a huge market right now, and there's many large companies that are producing printed parts that, especially in that sector, don't have seasonal color palettes, which always change. So there's always two parts, left and right shoe, so the colors have to match, and that's a really key thing for the DM60, for instance, because it can enable that repeatability and reliability in multiple parts and thousands of parts per launch. And, eyewear, for example, and many different sectors that we have full range in already.
Okay, I have another.
I hope that is a little bit.
Sorry, I don't know if you finish, Michael. Yeah, I think you do. Can we go to the other question? Okay, well, I will ask. And if not, well, we have Connie here, then she will be able to answer us, I'm sure. Whether a dimension system allows to get different surface finishes like glossy, matte, etc. with the color. How your systems can bring differences up in an SLS printed part.
I'm not sure if he's going to answer this question. Well, with our color techniques, so the deep dyeing, you can't change the surface, but we have other applications like our Power Fuse S, which can smooth the surface and give the part a glossy finish, as well as with our polyshot surfacing, you can achieve a much finer surface and also different outcomes.
Okay. Well, I hope, Michael, you're still there. Thank you very much, Connie and Michael, for this presentation. Well, we hope to know more about your finishing process in your table, and of course during the meeting that we will have. Well, now, guys, don't hesitate to visit Dyemansion on our networking session. I'm sure Connie and Michael will be there for you to answer the other questions. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Mike will be in the whiskey corner, and I will be at the food corner. So visit us.
Okay, great. Well, great news. So see you on all the funny tables that we will have. I'm sure we will have a very nice time. Okay, thank you and enjoy them.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much.